We'll start the show with a casual self-promotion for an event that I'm organising and streaming on Friday the 21st of July. The Golden Grill Award is a mini 4-player tournament between some of the more well-known female streamers in the Age of Empires 2 community. It's going to be a lot of fun with free-for-all settings, 1v1s, 1v2s, and even a match versus the Resonance Bot AI. The girls will score points for their performance, and at the end of the 5 matches, the player with the most points will be crowned the Golden Grill. I'll be starting the stream at 19 GMT, that's 8 PM if you're in the UK, 9 PM if you're in Europe, 4 PM Eastern, and 1 PM Pacific. Come and tune in over at twitch.tv/ZeroEmpires, and the link is also under the video. Hopefully the promotion will help the girls to grow their own Twitch channels some more as well, and if not, there's also $100 prize money which I've sponsored on top. We hope to see you there, and we hope that you'll enjoy the games. If you haven't heard of UserPatch, let me fill you in. UserPatch is a project which aims to improve the functionality of the CD version of Age of Empires 2. Primarily, it adds spectator functionality to the game, and it does a better job than the HD edition as well. But it also brings many features to the original game that can be found on HD, such as increased population limits, increased FPS, widescreen compatibility, new awesome triggers for scenario editing, and much more. These features were even made available since before AoE HD was released, and without this patch, the Age of Empires community would certainly not be where it is today. Players take these changes for granted, quickly forgetting what the game was like before UserPatch came and modernized it. So a huge shout out to the UserPatch team who have done all of this work for free over the years and without access to the source code of the game. It's truly an amazing job. Now, UserPatch is about to get a new update to version 1.5, 4 years after the release of 1.4. But what new changes are coming, and why should we be excited? There are lots of new features, and I'll brush over the main ones in this video, but if you do want to see the full feature list, then you can click the link to the changelog, which will be underneath. The first thing is precision scrolling, which allows the movement of the camera to feel much smoother and allow you to less snappy basically, which is just a nice overall feel to the game while you're playing. They've also changed the way that hotkeys work so that they activate upon key down rather than key up. Now on HD, the hotkeys activate when you press the key down, but on Voobly and on the original game, it was when you lifted the keys up, which means that the game kind of feels less responsive when you're playing on the old version. So with this change, it should help to make the game feel more tactile and more quickly responsive to your inputs. They've added new AI capabilities, specifically allowing the AI to do precision micromanagement. Now obviously the AI capability has improved massively over the years. We have AIs like Promi and Barbarian, which are incredibly strong, but now with these new changes they can get even stronger, and I'm looking forward to seeing what new challenges the AI scripters can give us. They've also added new environmental effects. This comes in the form of changing the color of the fog to adding new weather effects as well, such as rain, or for all of you snow lovers out there, there isn't just snow on the ground, but it's also falling from the sky. This is really cool, and although it's just an aesthetic thing, probably a little bit of a novelty, it could certainly be used to great effect in different scenarios and that kind of thing. I don't know if I'd want to play with this on for a whole match. It might be a little distracting, but I think it could certainly be cool in the scenario editor or for like custom campaigns, things like that. When it comes to playing multiplayer, they've reduced the delay in multiplayer. Age of Empires used to have an inbuilt delay, which increased the latency of the game, and that was obviously back when the game was released, when that latency needed to be there for the computers and the networks to keep up and everything stay in sync. Nowadays, we're on faster hardware with faster connections, and that delay can be reduced, increasing the responsiveness of multiplayer gameplay. They've also improved the starting frame rate of the game, so you don't get that annoying lag spike when the game starts up. And they've improved the mouse refresh rate, which means that the mouse is going to look much more smooth and less choppy when you move it quickly across the screen. Along with all this, they've added a bunch of scenario editor improvements. I'll touch on the bigger ones right now, and the ones that are going to obviously have the biggest effect on future campaigns and custom scenarios. The first one is the random percent condition. Now this is really awesome because in the original game it's very difficult to make random events happen or have random chance. This allows scenario editors a much more reliable way to introduce random elements to their scenarios, where previously they'd have to do something like rig up a transport ship and then have triggers to insert and remove a unit from it and hoping that it randomly moves onto different squares which activates more triggers and so on and so forth. Obviously that's not going to mean a lot to you if you haven't done much scenario editing, but for those of you who are interested in making your own custom scenarios, this one is a really big improvement to the current sort of methods of doing randomness. There's also a teleport effect, which allows you, of course, to take a unit and move it somewhere else on the map in an instant. That is amazing, something that just simply isn't possible without a trigger to do it. They've added the ability to add custom techs and custom units into the game as well. So you have complete control over the technologies and the units which can be created inside of buildings. So let's say, for example, you take an archery range. You can decide, hey, I actually want to be able to trade militia in this special archery range. You can do that, all from within the scenario editor. And the fourth one which they've added, which I think is pretty big, is the additional attributes which can be accessed via the tribute effect. Now, in the original game, there's no way to store variables while the scenario is running. Or there are, but they're quite clunky, such as spawning a number of units to act as a counter. By using these additional attributes, you can essentially store variables or create counters which are behind the scenes and don't require actual objects on the map in order to act as those pieces to count with. Now, for those of you who haven't really touched the scenario editor or aren't really interested in making your own scenarios, this isn't really going to mean a huge amount to you. However, what it does mean is that people who do make scenarios are going to be able to make much more awesome stuff. So keep your eye out for some really creative and new custom scenarios coming out. I will keep an eye out for you as well and make any videos to feature future things that come out using these new effects, because I think the possibilities are so great now with all these additional improvements and effects and triggers. It's really cool. Like I say, there are tons and tons of new updates and changes, and along with all of that, there are also quite a lot of bug fixes as well. This includes changes to the patrol behavior and making patrol better, changing how repair works for non-moving objects, and a bunch of fixes for AI and things like that. So definitely click on the link below the video and go to the UserPatch website to read all about it. I've been told that UserPatch 1.5 should be released and fully available on Voobly in about 1 to 2 months, hopefully sooner, which means that you guys can all get your hands on it over there. You can also download the open beta for the UserPatch 1.5 right now and play it locally on your PC as well without Voobly. So moving on to Nations Cup, which is ploughing on nicely with the qualification complete and the Gold League now underway. But who are the 16 teams to make it to the Gold League? In Group A, there's China SY, Argentina A, Czech Republic A, and Brazil C. Now, I just tried to record the readout for Group B and it gave me a little bit of a chuckle. There's Finland A, Canada A, China EMA, and Chile B. Rolls off the tongue. Group C, you have Brazil A, China Frantic, Austria A, and Vietnam B. And in Group D, you have Brazil B, Vietnam A, United States A, and Spain A. Crucially, missing from this list are any German teams, especially Germany A, who failed to take down Chile B and secure their spot in the top 16. This was maybe the largest upset in the qualifiers, but there will no doubt be many more upsets throughout the event. The top 2 teams from each of the 4 groups will move forward to the knockout stage. If you have any predictions, let me know in a comment below, but here are my predictions right now. From Group A, I would expect China Sai to finish a comfortable first, with Argentina possibly battling for a close second. Both Czech Republic A and Brazil C could be a threat to Argentina, but they should take it if they're on form. In Group B, the favourites should be Finland A, with that second spot being in close contention once again. Canada A may have what it takes to come out on top over China EMA and Chile B, but watch out for China EMA, they could easily cause an upset here. Group C will be a battle for first between Brazil A and China Frantic, but Austria A and Vietnam B, while fairly evenly matched, shouldn't have a reasonable chance at finishing top 2. Group D is probably the most competitive group, but I would expect Vietnam A and Brazil B to be fighting for first, while USA and Spain can pose a real threat to both teams on a good day. In other Nations Cup news, I'm also now officially a member of United Kingdom C, and already on the warpath after facing Norway B in our first match. And we lost. Again. So, we're going to give it our best shot, and I'll try streaming my point of view for any future matches, all in the name of good fun. As always, you can find the list of streams for matches on the Age of Empires calendar, which is linked below the video. Sorry I haven't been streaming much of the Nations Cup. Most of the games have landed on the weekend so far, which is when we're doing the Escape Euro Cup, of course. So hopefully I can catch some more soon. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.